Welcome to my channel, Bold Chiller. Like, share, and subscribe. Wait, don't skip this. These 4 US quarter dollars may look completely normal, but some versions of these exact coins are worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars today. Tiny mint marks, rare errors, and small design details have turned ordinary quarters into serious collector treasures. And the scariest part, millions of people still spend these coins every day without realizing their true value. So, before you ever spend another quarter, watch this video till the end, because one of these coins could be hiding in your pocket right now. Coin number 1. The coin you are looking at may seem like just another ordinary quarter dollar, but in reality, it represents more than 2 centuries of American history, political symbolism, artistic evolution, and hidden numismatic value. This is the Washington quarter, first introduced in 1932 to honor the 200th birthday of George Washington, the first president of the United States. Before this design ever existed, American quarters carried other portraits and themes, but in 1932, the U.S. Mint made a historic decision to permanently place Washington's image on the quarter, replacing the Standing Liberty design. The original Washington quarter was never meant to be permanent. It was initially planned as a 1-year commemorative issue. However, the public response was so positive that the design became a permanent part of American coinage, and it remains in use, albeit with modern variations even today. By the time your 1981 quarter was minted, the Washington quarter had already become one of the most widely recognized and circulated coins in the world. The obverse side features a left-facing portrait of George Washington, designed by sculptor John Flanagan. This portrait was based on a bust of Washington, created by French sculptor Jean-Antoine Houdon in the 18th century, which is considered one of the most accurate likenesses of Washington ever made. The words, "Liberty," appear at the top of the coin, symbolizing the core ideal upon which the United States was founded. Just beneath Washington's chin, you'll see the phrase, "In God We Trust," a motto that was officially added to all US coins in the 1950s during the Cold War era as a statement of national faith and identity. The reverse side of your coin displays a proud eagle with outstretched wings, standing on a bundle of arrows while clutching olive branches beneath it. This powerful imagery was carefully chosen. The eagle has long been the national symbol of the United States, representing strength, independence, and freedom. The arrows symbolize military readiness and national defense, while the olive branches represent peace. Together, they reflect America's desire for peace, backed by the strength to defend itself if necessary. Above the eagle are the words E pluribus unum, a Latin phrase meaning out of many, one, symbolizing the unity of the original 13 colonies into a single nation. Around the top edge of the coin are the words United States of America, and at the bottom, quarter dollar, clearly identifying its denomination. Now, the year 1981 itself holds special significance in U.S. coin history. This was a period when the United States had already transitioned away from silver coinage. Prior to 1965, quarters were made of 90% silver, which today makes pre-1965 quarters intrinsically valuable due to their silver content alone. However, by 1981, quarters were composed of a copper-nickel-clad structure, a pure copper core sandwiched between 2 layers of copper-nickel alloy. Coin number 2. This coin is part of the famous United States 50-State Quarters program, a historic project launched in 1999 to honor every US state with a unique quarter dollar design. Alaska's quarter was released in 2008 and became one of the final coins of this legendary series, which makes it even more special and meaningful for collectors and history lovers. On the back of this coin, you can see a powerful brown bear catching a salmon in a river. This is not just an animal. Picture it represents the true spirit of Alaska. Alaska is a land of wild nature, high mountains, frozen glaciers, deep forests, and clean rivers. The bear shows strength, survival, and independence, while the salmon shows life, food, and balance in nature. Together, they tell the story of how people in Alaska have always lived in harmony with nature. The word Alaska and the year 1959 are written on the coin, because Alaska officially became the 49th state of the United States in 1959. Before that, Alaska was not part of America. Long ago, it belonged to Russia. In 1867, Russia sold Alaska to the United States for only $7.2 million. At that time, many people laughed at this deal and said America had bought useless ice and snow. But later, huge amounts of gold, oil, gas, and natural beauty were discovered, and Alaska became one of the richest lands in natural resources. Thousands of years before any Europeans arrived, native tribes lived in Alaska, such as the Inuit, Aleut, and Tlingit people. They survived by hunting, fishing, and respecting nature. They believed nature was like a mother who gives life and must be protected. Their traditions, stories, and culture are still alive in Alaska today and are an important part of its identity. When Russian traders arrived, they came mainly for animal fur, especially sea, otter, and fox fur, which was very valuable in Europe. Russia slowly took control of Alaska, but because of the cold weather, long distance, and high costs, it became difficult for Russia to manage this land. That is why they finally sold it to the United States. After America bought Alaska, it was ignored for many years. But later, during gold rushes, thousands of people rushed to Alaska, hoping to become rich. Cities slowly grew, roads were built, and Alaska became more important. During World War II, Alaska also became important for military reasons because of its location near Asia. When Alaska became a state in 1959, it was a proud moment for its people. It meant better rights, more development, and a stronger voice in the government. The Alaska State Quarter was made to honor this long journey from ancient native tribes to Russian rule to becoming part for the United States. The front side of the coin shows George Washington, just like Wallace quarters. This connects Alaska to the rest of the country and shows that it is an equal part of the United States. The backside tells Alaska's own story through the bear and salmon. Coin number 3. The United States Washington Quarter Dollar is one of the most iconic and widely recognized coins in American history. First introduced in 1932, this coin represents not only monetary value, but also the political, cultural, and historical identity of the United States. Over the decades, it has passed through countless hands, witnessed major world events, and remained a symbol of American strength and continuity. The quarter dollar has a face value of 25 cents, which equals 1/4 of a US dollar. The word quarter directly reflects this fraction. Since its introduction, the coin has played a vital role in everyday commerce, vending machines, parking meters, public transportation, and international trade. The Washington Quarter was created to honor George Washington, the first president of the United States. George Washington is considered the father of the nation due to his leadership during the American Revolutionary War and his role in establishing the foundations of the U.S. government. Before the Washington Quarter, the United States used the Standing Liberty Quarter, which was minted from 1916 to 1930. However, the Standing Liberty design faced criticism for wear issues and public controversy, leading the U.S. Mint to consider a redesign. In 1932, the United States celebrated the 200th birthday of George Washington. To commemorate this bicentennial event, the U.S. Mint decided to issue a special quarter dollar featuring Washington's portrait. This commemorative coin became so popular that it was later adopted as a permanent design. The design of the Washington Quarter was created by sculptor John Flanagan. His portrait of Washington was based on a bust sculpted by Jean Houdon in 1786, which is considered one of the most accurate likenesses of Washington ever made. On the obverse side of the coin, George Washington is shown facing left. The word liberty appears across the top, symbolizing freedom, a core principle of American democracy. Below Washington's chin, the phrase "In God We Trust" reflects the nation's spiritual heritage. At the bottom of the obverse side, the year of minting is clearly visible. In your coin's case, the year 1987 marks a period during the late Cold War era, when the United States was a global superpower, competing politically and economically with the Soviet Union. The reverse side of the traditional Washington quarter features a powerful eagle with outstretched wings. The eagle is a long-standing national symbol of the United States, representing strength, independence, and vigilance. Above the eagle, the words United States of America are engraved, asserting national identity. Beneath the eagle, the denomination quarter dollar clearly defines the coin's value. The Washington quarter was originally made of 90% silver and 10% copper. However, due to rising silver prices, the composition was changed in 1965 to a copper-nickel-clad structure, which is still used today. The 1987 Washington quarter is part of this copper-nickel era. It contains no silver, but its historical and collectible value remains significant, especially for collectors who focus on specific years, mint marks, or conditions. US quarters are minted in different locations, including Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Each mint uses a small letter known as a mint mark to identify where the coin was produced. A quarter minted in Philadelphia typically has no mint mark, while Denver coins carry a D mark, and San Francisco coins display an S. These small details can significantly affect a coin's collectability. During the 1980s, the United States experienced major economic and technological changes. The rise of personal computers, space exploration programs, and global trade shaped the era in which the 1987 quarter was minted. Coins, like the Washington quarter, silently record history. They pass through generations, survive wars, recessions, and cultural revolutions, yet remain physically unchanged in form and purpose. For collectors, the Washington quarter represents accessibility. Unlike rare gold coins, quarters are affordable, making them a popular starting point for new coin collectors around the world. Condition plays a critical role in determining a coin's value. Coins, graded as mint state or uncirculated, can be worth significantly more than those heavily worn through circulation. Over time, the Washington quarter design underwent modifications. In 1999, the U.S. Mint launched the 50-state quarters program, replacing the traditional eagle reverse with state-specific designs. This program sparked renewed interest in coin collecting, as millions of Americans began searching for quarters representing all 50 states, turning everyday change into a national treasure hunt. Despite these changes, the original Washington portrait remained unchanged for decades, proving its timeless appeal and historical importance. The Washington quarter is more than metal. It is a storyteller. Each scratch, shine, and edge reflects journeys through markets, pockets, and history itself. For historians, coins like this provide insight into economic conditions, artistic trends, and political values of their time. For content creators and collectors, showcasing such a coin allows audiences to connect with history in a tangible and visual way. The Washington quarter dollar stands as a bridge between the past and present, reminding us that even the smallest objects can carry the weight of a nation's story. The Washington quarter also reflects the daily life of ordinary Americans. For decades, this coin has been used to buy food, pay bus fares, make phone calls, and operate machines. It became part of routine life, silently supporting the economy while remaining unnoticed. Even though it carried the face of the nation's first president, as the coin moved through circulation, it traveled across cities, states, and even borders. Coin number 4, the Washington quarter dollar minted in 1985, represents a silent witness to one of the most transformative periods in modern American history. Though small in size, this coin carries the weight of decades of economic shifts, political power, and social change. It is not merely currency, it is a physical record of time. The quarter dollar has long been a symbol of stability in the United States monetary system. By 1985, the Washington quarter was already deeply embedded in American daily life. It had paid for bus rides, newspaper purchases, arcade games, and everyday necessities, becoming an object so familiar that its historical importance often went unnoticed. The portrait on the obverse side shows George Washington, the first president of the United States. His image was chosen not for decoration, but for meaning. Washington represented unity, leadership, and the birth of a nation that had emerged from colonial rule into independence. The design used on the 1985 quarter is based on a sculpture created by Jonathan Udong in the 18th century. This likeness is considered the most accurate representation of Washington, capturing not an idealized hero, but a real human figure, marked by responsibility and resolve. Above Washington's head appears the word liberty, a foundational concept upon which the United States was built. Liberty was not merely a political slogan. It was a promise that shaped laws, wars, and the identity of an entire nation. To the left of Washington's portrait is the phrase, "In God we trust." By 1985, this motto had already become a permanent feature on American coinage, reflecting the country's cultural values during decades shaped by Cold War tensions and ideological rivalry. The year 1985, stamped below Washington's portrait, anchors this coin to a specific moment in history. This was a time when the United States stood at the height of its global influence, while also facing internal economic challenges and rapid technological change. During the mid-1980s, America was experiencing the rise of personal computers, cable television, and expanding global trade. The Washington quarter circulated through this evolving world, passing through hands that were unknowingly shaping the future. The reverse side of the 1985 Washington quarter features a powerful bald eagle with outstretched wings. The eagle has long symbolized American strength, vigilance, and independence. Its presence on the coin reinforces the idea of national pride and authority. Above the eagle, the inscription "United States of America" declares sovereignty and identity. Below it, the words "quarter dollar" define its value, grounding the symbolic imagery in practical use. By 1985, the quarter was composed of a copper-nickel-clad structure, introduced in 1965 after rising silver prices made precious metal coins impractical. Though it no longer contained silver, the quarter retained its trust and acceptance worldwide. The 1985 Washington quarter was minted in multiple locations, including Philadelphia and Denver. Coins from these mints are identified by subtle mint marks, or sometimes the absence of one, a detail that collectors closely study. Millions of quarters were produced in 1985, ensuring smooth circulation across the nation. Yet, despite the high mint numbers, each individual coin followed a unique journey through time. Some quarters remained in near-perfect condition, preserved in mint sets or collections. Others became heavily worn, their details softened by decades of circulation. These marks are not damage, they are history. The Washington quarter also played a role beyond American borders. U.S. currency has long been accepted internationally, and quarters often traveled overseas through trade tourism and military presence. For soldiers stationed abroad, American coins served as reminders of home. A simple quarter could carry emotional value far beyond its monetary worth. The 1980s were defined by Cold War tensions, with the United States and the Soviet Union locked in political and ideological competition. Coins, like the Washington quarter, circulated during this era of global uncertainty and power balance. Despite political tension, daily life continued. Children saved quarters in jars. Arcade machines consumed them, and payphones relied on them to connect voices across distances. The quarter became a bridge between generations, passed from grandparents to children. It quietly connected past and present. Collectors today view the 1985 Washington quarter as part of a larger historical continuum. While not extremely rare, it holds significance as a representative of its era. Numismatists study details such as strike-quality mint marks and condition to understand how each coin fits into the broader story of American coinage. Occasionally, error coins emerge. My strikes off-center designs per doubled feet. Another layer of intrigue, rooted in real minting processes rather than myths. The true mystery of the Washington quarter is not hidden treasure or exaggerated value claims. Its mystery lies in scale. How such a small object could witness such vast historical change. Every Washington quarter is a survivor. It has endured economic cycles, policy changes, and evolving technology, yet remains instantly recognizable. In a world increasingly dominated by digital transactions, the physical presence of the quarter feels almost symbolic, a reminder of tangible value in an intangible age. The 1985 Washington quarter stands as a quiet monument to continuity. It represents a nation moving forward while carrying its history in metal form. The Washington quarter tells a story of endurance, trust, and identity. To hold this coin is to hold a fragment of American history not frozen, but lived. And as long as it exists, the Washington quarter will continue to remind us that history does not only exist in books or museums, but also in the smallest objects we carry every day. These 4 quarter dollars may look ordinary, but each one carries a different journey through time. They passed through countless hands, witnessed changing eras, and survived moments history never recorded. From everyday transactions to silent symbols of a nation's past, they remind us that history isn't always found in museums. Sometimes it fits quietly in the palm of your hand.